Mark the ground zero. Mark the ground zero. I need a turkey club stat, please. I'm very hungry and scared out here in the woods. And blueberries. I mean, it's not a turkey club, but I mean, I guess it'll work. Not bad. I think I can do this. Oh, thank goodness. I've been looking for this place ever since I started roaming. I know I passed it when I first started. Is this wood always here? In this place.
All right, good afternoon, Pine Brook. I'm here with another one of our longtime staff members, John Drumgool. He's kind enough to join us today. So John, how many years have you been part of Pine Brook Camp?
I started in 1986, so I'm ancient. Been around a long time. I started as a counselor, like a lot of other people. Kevin, the director, actually was my co-counselor for the first 3 years, I think. Yeah, at least 3 years. So a long time ago, and I've been privileged to do just about everything that you can do around here except cook, and I have not been the nurse, although I put on band-aids and fixed boo-boos and stuff, but I haven't done everything. So yeah, it's been a long, long time.
I think you still have some emotional attachment to that cabin too. That's usually where we find you taking a nap.
Yes, and it's cabin 8, by the way, because that's how it was when I started. Not that it really matters. You know, you walk in, it's the same thing that it always was, but I'll always be fond of it for that number.
So John, how'd you hear about Pine Brook the first time? What brought you here?
I was going to GCC, and I was taking the rec program, and there was a girl there who went to camp and also went to North Leverett Church, named Tina, and her sister Grace was dating a guy named Mike, who I actually had gone to high school with. I didn't know that he was a director up here. Since I was going through the rec program, I don't remember if I contacted him or he talked to me about coming up here and being a part of this. And since I had the rec degree, I guess they wanted to use that. I had no idea what I was walking into, but I found out quickly. I was kind of thrown to the wolves, but it was a wonderful experience. I thought it would be a one-hit wonder, you know, maybe a year, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then 34, however many years later, I'm still here. So God had different plans than I had at that time. And it's a familiar story. A lot of people say the same things.
Yeah.
I was coming here, I won't say his name, to, you know, get a discount for my kids, and 25 years later, I'm still here. So you hear those stories all the time. So it's a place you come and you just get hooked. And if God wants you somewhere, he's going to make a way to keep you there. And I'm still around.
Absolutely. So in those 34 years, John, what's one of the most unpleasant jobs you've had to do?
There's a lot of them. I never had the pleasure of the grease trap. Never had that. Sucked out a few septic tanks. Those were bad.
Oof.
But the worst one was somewhere I came on full time, and I think it was 2003. And a couple years later, Kevin, I think it was November. Kevin was on vacation down in Florida, and there was an odor coming from underneath. Well, I probably went to check the A-frame. It was getting cold outside. You see if the pipes are okay, the water's all right. And there was an odor in there. And I looked around, didn't find anything. And so I go outside, and then I'm smelling it again. And I go around the corner where there's a little place that you can open and crawl underneath, where all the pipes are, and it's coming from there. And it's like, oh goody, I don't know what this is. So I opened the door, and in the insulation, some of it was on the ground like it had been made into a bed, was half rotted fox was there, and it smelled horrible. It was the worst smell I think ever. I'm the only one there, and I have to get rid of it because people were going to use that building on one of the weekends, and I didn't know how in the world I was going to do this. So I had to crawl in there and pull the thing out. So I got what's that stuff called, you put it on your chest, that smell, the really
Icy hot or mixed vapor rub?
Vapor rub, yep. I took that and put it under my nose, stuck it all through my mustache, and tried to cover my face because it was so disgusting. And I think what killed it was mange. It just eats away at it, and they go there to stay warm and to get water because of the pipes. They can smell it. So anyway, that's what I did. And I go in and start pulling pieces out and come out, have to breathe once in a while to get real fresh air. So I ended up bagging the thing and threw it away. And so yeah, that was the grossest one. But the funny part was it happened again. It wasn't too long after that. It was like, I don't know, a couple more months, there was another one. So yeah, that was the grossest, most disgusting, smelly thing. And I've dealt with poop and kids, puking up their dinners or whatever at night. I've seen it all. Stuff in the shower house you don't want to ever see. Dead animals in the woods and smelly things like that. So yeah, it was that was the worst, for sure.
Well, I don't envy that job at all.
And hopefully you won't ever have to deal with that either. But I send Lauren in.
Yeah, she might fit a little better.
She's used to it. She grew up on a farm, so.
There you go. So John, what is one of your favorite camp games to play?
Ooh, favorites. I think I definitely enjoyed the flag football tournament a lot, mostly because I love football. But that's kind of a retreat game, so I guess I won't count that. I think Kev ball's great because there's so much that can be done. Everybody has a role. That's what I really like. You don't have to be a superstar. There's no special anything in it. A lot of it's luck. The trees play a huge difference in what happens in that game, so I really like that. I love the teamwork part of it because it has to happen in order to score. Capture the flag obviously has that too.
In Kev ball, I think I've heard you say one of your favorite jobs, though. Sometimes you suggest it to teams.
Yeah, being the pest, being the one who stands in the middle. Back when I was younger and could still run, I'd like to steal the ball that came across the middle, and that was my job, and that's what I did. To steal the ball and take it to the farthest place you possibly could. I mean, it's good strategy, too. You get hated, but, that's okay. Mug ball is amazing. That is a great game. If you've never played that in the winter time, that's pretty cool, too. If you like roughing it up, that's good. I think Yeti is great, because that's just the scariness of it, or the suspense at night out in the woods being stalked by somebody is pretty cool.
In the snow.
In the snow, yep. So there's a lot of good ones. Those are probably my favorites. I like other ones too, for sure. There's some not so much, but those are probably the ones that don't exist anymore either. So yeah, I'd say those. But no matter what I did, I always had a good time because you were with people and you got to know them and you came together as a team and you got to grow together. And I think that's the part that I enjoyed the most. And it didn't matter what we were doing. But no matter what we did, I always did my best, and because I wanted to win, definitely. But if I didn't, you don't. That's okay. That's just part of the deal. But I always, play hard and do the best that I could. So it was fun, and I miss it. I wish I had a body of a 25-year-old again, but I don't. So.
And then, in all the games that you've reffed and played in and watched over the years, what's one story that really sticks out to you?
There was many great games. Many great finishes, exciting finishes. An overtime flag football game, one that went down to the last play, which you caught that pass.
There we go.
I thought was going to overtime. It didn't, but that was pretty exciting. But there were other ones that came down to the last play of the game too, which were exciting. There was a, I forget the name of the game, speedball game. Triple overtime.
Wow.
That was exciting. And one team could have won it on the last kick of the game. Went through. I blew the whistle right before he kicked the ball, and the ball went through the uprights. They would have won. But I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but we have to go to another overtime." So sorry, Sam Stafford, if you're listening. It was you. That was great. That was exciting to referee that game, to see it. I've heard of others that I wasn't at that were exciting too. The best thing I ever saw was in Capture the Balls. It must have been 15 years ago. That game is strategic. Anyone who's ever played it knows how it moves a lot. Sometimes it doesn't move at all. Nothing's happening. And I know you know because you've been in them. First, there'll be a frenzy, crazy of people just running everywhere, and a team is ahead, and all of a sudden they're not. So a team could be leading the whole game, and at the end, boom, they have nothing left. But we had the opposite happen. We've seen teams lose balls before and come back and win, but this was different. There's this one team, and I was reffing their zone, and probably halfway through the game, they had no balls left. They're gone. Now, technically, if you lose all the balls and all your players, you're out. You can't win. It's impossible. It's never happened, that I know of anyway. They had one person left, just one. And I'm trying to remember, I think his name is Bobby, was Bobby. I'm sure it still is, whoever he is. I don't know. It's the greatest run I've ever seen. We call him Teflon after that because he was untouchable. But we thought, I thought it was over. I thought there's just no way. There's just one guy left. He wasn't the most athletic person in the world. He wasn't fast. Kind of awkward. And I don't say that to put him down, not at all. But what I saw that day shouldn't have happened, but it did. He just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go and see what happens. So he did. He took off to the zone across from him. Let's say he's blue, he went into green. Just to see if he could tag and free some people, take a chance. At this point, it doesn't matter. You're not going to win. You got to have people back. So he goes in there and he tags 1, 2. At this point, nobody's really watching him because they don't figure there's any chance for this team at all. It's not going to happen. So they kind of let him go, and he tagged and probably freed about 4 people. So then they come back. Then instead of coming back and saying, okay, that's good, now we have some people, we can get some balls, he doesn't stop. He goes from green, I think I said green, into red. And he starts tagging people there. Now I'm watching this, is like, what is going on here? But now the people in those zones are starting to watch, and now they're making more of an effort because he freed that zone. And now his team is getting excited. So he goes to there, people are trying to pull his flag. Either they can't reach, or they dive and they miss, or they have their hand on it, but the flag doesn't come off, or their hand goes through the flag. I don't even care what's going on in front of me anymore because I'm watching this. And he goes through and he frees all his players in that zone. And then he heads into the last zone, which should be yellow. He does the same thing. And at that time, everybody in his zone, all the players are yelling, screaming, jumping up and down, all excited for what's going on. They're not even doing anything because they're watching this too. We're all watching this like, this is nuts. And this team is really trying to catch him. And he should have stepped out of bounds. He's tiptoeing down the sidelines, nothing. But it was untouchable. It's like, you couldn't stop the guy.